Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be kicking off a new project that I've been working on, a series on this channel that I'll be calling Journal With Me, or something more creative that I come up with in the future. For this Journal With Me series, my vision is pretty simple. It's simply to provide space for us to journal together. Journaling is something that's always been really important to me ever since I was a teenager, like around probably 13 years old. Every time I'm going through something or just feeling a certain way, when I take the time to really write out my thoughts and my feelings, it's like I'm finally peeling back the layers and allowing myself to really see with fresh eyes what I'm going through and what's going on inside of me. Journaling has helped me to cultivate a strong sense of mindfulness and self-awareness. It has helped me to process my hopes, my dreams, my highs and my lows, my fears, my worries, the things that hold me back in life, my priorities, how I want to spend my time and my life on this earth. Journaling has also really helped me to reflect on my memories, my past childhood experiences, and how they've impacted who I am today and how I carry myself today. I feel like there's so many thoughts that go through our minds every single day, and if we don't pause to really sort through them and process how they're affecting us, then they just keep affecting us and we have no idea. We just kind of go through life like feeling all these things and we're like, why am I feeling all these things? I just feel anxious, worried, discouraged, hopeless, but I don't know why. And I think journaling has really given me that space to pause and be like, wait, why am I feeling these things? What's causing it? What can I adjust to live differently? I know that journaling and just self-care and self-reflection in general are something that a lot of us want to do and a lot of us want to do more in life, but sometimes it can be hard without that accountability. Have you ever bought a new journal or an agenda or a bullet journal and you're like really excited to work on it and then like a month later you realize you just stopped? That's definitely happened to me a lot in the past. So that's also my hope with this series, is that we can do it together. So there's a sense of accountability, there's a sense of partnership and community as we're going through this process of self-reflection. I got really inspired by YouTubers like Chloe Ting and Lily Sabri and just tons of YouTubers out there who are not only teaching us how to work out and the tips for working out, but they're actually doing it with us. So yeah, in the same way that working out consistently is so much easier when you have someone to hold you accountable and keep you motivated, I really do feel like journaling, self-reflection, and self-care is so much more doable and so much more fun when you have someone to hold you accountable and keep you motivated and give you prompts that are helpful. If you're already a fan of journaling, I hope that this series can be helpful for you, whether it be providing you new ideas and reflection questions to use, or just a sense of accountability and community as we're doing it together. If you're not familiar with journaling, or maybe you've been intimidated by the idea or thought it might be really hard to be consistent with a journal, so you never even took the time to try, I really hope that the series can be encouraging for you. Hopefully the prompts and the ideas and the personal reflections that I share will give you a better idea of what journaling can look like and how it can help you to cultivate more mindfulness, self-awareness, and clarity within your own life. Just to give you an idea of what to expect in these videos, the videos will generally be broken up into 3 parts. The first part will be me sharing the prompts or the series of reflection questions for the session. The second part will be a real-time journal with me, so I'll actually be journaling and reflecting on the prompt or the series of questions that I posed. And then the third and final part of the video will be a debrief session. I'll share some major takeaways, thoughts, or conclusions that may have come up for me. I'll also share some words of encouragement or further food for thought for you to leave with. So with that said, let's begin today's session. Right, so today I'm going to be journaling on my bed. Feel free to find whatever spot in your home that feels the most comfortable for you. But yeah, sometimes I'll choose my bed, sometimes the dining room table, the coffee table, the outside on the patio, just like whatever I'm feeling that day. But yeah, feel free to get comfy, get yourself a cup of coffee if you need, tea, whatever. Just in case you're interested, I personally am using a white moleskin brand. So yeah, I think this is a brand right here. It is college ruled, so the lines are closer together. And I am using my favorite pen. I love this for journaling or just for my abs. Pilot G2.38. And for my whiteouts, I always need whiteout because I hate it when I make mistakes. But this one I got from Amazon. I think it's like Tombow. And sometimes I'll have a book with me depending on if I'm coming up with a prompt based on a quote from the book. So yeah. And just in case you're curious or don't know how to start, the way that I usually start my journal entries is just like this. I'll start with the date, and if my journal entry is inspired by a certain book, then I'll also write the title of the book, and then the chapter number and the chapter title. And that's pretty much it. But if it's a day that it's not inspired by any book at all, then it'll probably just say the date. Today's journal prompt is heavily inspired by a quote that I read by Eckhart Tolle in his book, The Power of Now. And I'll read the quote for us first. Imagine the earth devoid of human life, inhabited only by plants and animals. Would it still have a past and a future? Could we still speak of time in any meaningful way? The question, what time is it? Or what's the date today? If anybody were there to ask it, would be quite meaningless. The oak tree or the eagle would be bemused by such a question. What time? They would ask. Well, of course, it's now. The time is now. What else is there? I have 2 reflection questions for us to journal on based on this quote. Feel free to do both of them or just one of them, depending on how much time you have and what you resonate with. But here are the questions. Number 1, what thoughts or feelings come up as you reflect on this quote? Feel free to rewind back to the slide with the quote if you want to have it in front of you as you journal about this question. Number 2, if you lived in a world where the past and the future didn't matter as much, and the time that mattered the most was now, how would that change the way you live your life? Feel free to start journaling when you're ready. So I just finished, but if you're still working on your journal entry, feel free to continue. You can just pause this video right here, and then when you're done, you can click play and I'll share my final thoughts and any takeaways. Alright, so before I share some of my thoughts and takeaways, I just want to emphasize that everyone's reflections can be very different. Don't be shocked if yours is like completely different from mine, or shorter or longer than what I have to say. I think it's really powerful that each person processes things really differently, and so when we come together and share our thoughts, it really helps us to see a perspective that we didn't even consider. So I hope that some of my perspectives and thoughts will be encouraging for you today. So I think my main takeaway from my first question, what thoughts or feelings come up as you reflect on this quote? I think I just felt this sense of like almost envy, like, yeah, like reading that quote about the oak tree and the eagle not really caring about what time it is because they just know, oh, well, the time is now, like that's all that matters. I think I just noticed myself feeling really envious and almost longing for a lifestyle and a mindset that's more simple like that. I wrote that I felt envious that they do not have to worry about the future as much, that they probably don't live their lives regretting their mistakes or beating themselves up for the things that they've done in the past. Just hearing the simplicity of their answer of, oh, the time is now, it just, I guess, almost helped me to remember that my life doesn't have to be that different from theirs either. Even though I have to get things done and take care of finances and make goals for the future, I think it doesn't mean that I can't also really cherish now, as if that's the time that matters the most. For the second question, if you lived in a world where the past and the future didn't matter as much and the time that mattered the most was now, how would that change the way you live your life? I think the biggest thing is I would absolutely 100% cherish the moments that I have with the people that I love right now. And for me, that's Alan, my husband, or my parents, my friends, and just the people in my community. I think sometimes, especially lately, just in adulthood and getting married and being in my mid-20s, I think it's really easy for me to constantly worry about the future, where my career is going, or the kind of person I'm going to become in the next few years, or when I'm going to have kids. I think this quote is so true in that even though all those things that we think about for the future are important and they do exist and they matter, it shouldn't stop us from embracing the moment that we have right now. And I don't want to lose sight of this very moment just because I was so busy chasing after all the other things in the future. I wrote, if only now mattered, I would savor every moment. I would stop and breathe in the fresh air. I would stop fearing my future because I'm confident that the things I do right now and the way I live my life right now matters just as much. So yeah, whatever thoughts or feelings that came up for you today, I really hope that you hold on to it, hold it close to you, and not let it go away. I know that it's really easy sometimes for us to feel really inspired for a moment if we read a really good quote, but what would it look like for us to really hold on to this quote and let it impact the way that we interact with people, the way that we carry ourselves right now? So yeah, that's the end of our session. If there's any particular thoughts or reflections that you want to share, please do so in the comments below. Or if you happen to have another prompt or reflection question that came up based on the quote today, I'd love to hear from you and just journal about that question as well. If you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.